Do you ever find that you're missing the buzzer in a Toastmasters meeting? The buzzer that the R counter uses to let the speaker know that they have just used a filler word. Well, if you're anything like our club, you probably have been finding it a little bit difficult to find a buzzer that works. My name is Alex Owen-Hill. I'm the president of Capital Communicators in Scotland at the moment, and we've been noticing online that quite a lot of people are finding it difficult to find a buzzer that works. So we've had people saying the word buzz when they come on screen, which, if you haven't spotlighted the speaker at the time, means that suddenly the person who is being the R counter is the person who Zoom picks out, and that kind of distracts people. We've had people kind of holding things up. We've just had people writing down the number of R's and ums and R's at the end and reporting back at the end, which is fine, but it's not great because it means you don't get that immediate feedback. And we've had some people who have managed to use some types of buzzing. This is the method that I'm using. It's a technological method. It means that you won't get distracted by the person by Zoom picking them out, because they're not going to be speaking, the R counter, from Zoom's perspective. So this is a great way to do it. So I'm going to take you through the technological tutorial of how you can do it. So we're going to use a screen recorder, and excuse this strange thing that happens here, but I'm going to show you a website. So this is what the website that I use to get different sounds, and there are various sounds here. It's called myinstance.com. You can search for them. They have many things. The sounds of sirens. There are many different things you can get there. But in particular, you can search for buzzers. So you can go to the top and you type the word buzzer. You will find a bunch of different buzzers. Now, not all buzzers are going to be great. It's probably a bit excessive. Definitely not what you want. You want something that's going to be like the buzzer that you use in a normal in-person Toastmaster meeting. Now, I like this one. It's quite good. And what I would recommend to do this, two different ways to do this, but I would recommend that if you can download the MP3 here, and this will download a little button down there, and you want to open it up in your program. Now, I use VLC, and they use that for a reason, which I will show you in a second, but it's to do with the volume, which you have down here. But that's, in particular, you want just a music player which has a volume meter that you can control separately from your PC. So that's what we're going to do, and how we're going to make this work is we're going to route it through Zoom. So I'm assuming you're using Zoom for your meetings. If you're not using Zoom, this will be different, and I don't know whether it's possible in other different systems. I've not tried it with them, but quite a lot of us are using Zoom these days, so this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to open up a Zoom meeting here. You should be able to see my screen again now, and this is my picture here. I'm not going to show you my picture because otherwise that crazy thing happens with many windows going off into infinity. But what you really want to do is you want to share your sound. So you need to get permission. If you're the R counter, you need to get permission from the person who's hosting the event, and you want to click share screen thing, and you want to go to advanced and share music or computer sound only, and then you will click share. Everyone else will see that there is a sharing. One caveat here is you can't do this while someone else is sharing their screen in another format or sharing their music. So if you've got someone using presentation slides, you won't be able to buzz them. Usually presentation slides are in a prepared speech, so usually that's not a problem because you don't usually buzz prepared speeches. Depends on your club though. But you can only have one person sharing at once. Now, what will happen there means if I open up this sound that I've just downloaded, you can press play, and that will buzz, and everyone will be able to hear it because you're sharing computer sound. Now, a little note here. I tend to set up my meeting, if I'm the R counter, I'll set up the meeting like this. So I've got the screen at one side. This is, of course, if you're on desktop. All of this is if you're on a desktop or a laptop computer. It doesn't work if you're using the mobile app, although I think it probably could. So I set up my little audio player here, and I press play, hover my finger over the play button, and then everyone can hear it. Now, let me put it back to my thing so you can see me. The thing is, this can be extremely loud for the people on the other side. So for you, it might sound okay, but for everyone else in the room, you might find that, especially if they're wearing headphones, this is like blasting out for them. So what I do at the start is I use the sound control. So I'll show you about that again, just down here. So I'll use this, try and set it down. VLC is good because you can get really good control. You can get it down to like 10, 15, 20, 30%, or you can go all the way up here. I usually find it somewhere down here, somewhere about 16, 17, 15. And at the beginning of the meeting, what I do is I use it in my introduction. I'll get people to vote. So I say, okay, everyone, I would like you to tell me if this is too loud, too low, or too high. So there are two different ways to do this. You can either say go up, get people to go up if you want it to increase the sound, or go down if it's too much, or just like this if it's okay. So you look at everyone in the room and you get a general idea. If everyone's pointing up, you go, okay, well, they can't hear it. If everyone's pointing down, it's too loud. Or you can get people to like vote with the middle, using the sort of space on your screen from all the way to the top of the screen being very high and all the way to the bottom being low, and this is the level that you want people to do. So you want people to like move their hands up and down, and then you can get a visual idea of where you should be moving it. So that's what I do at the beginning of the session, and then I keep sharing sound throughout the meeting, except if someone's sharing slides where I have to stop doing it for that time, and just hover my finger over the play button, and then that's okay. Now, if you haven't got a media player, if you'd like to just use the website, which I will show you how to do, just so that you can see what you've got it. So you've got this my instance website. You've got the buzzer here. What you can do is, if you're on Windows, again, this is only if you're on Windows. I don't know how it works on Mac. You can go to right-click on the volume button. You can go to Open Volume Mixer, and then you can find, in this case, Google Chrome. So what I'm using is my web browser, and you can move this independently if you've got Windows 10 and some of the previous ones as well. You can move this independently, so you can do the same thing. You can set it, and then you can get people to vote, and then you can move it up and down. In general, though, what I found is if you're doing it online with this buzzer, it's not as responsive as if you're doing it inside your VLC or similar. I've just clicked something there that means that the sound is no longer picked up there. Recent media buzzer. There we go. So there's the buzzer sound again, as you can see. From my perspective now, that's very, very low. You probably can't even hear that because it's at 18%. But what I found is during the meetings that actually that's about the level. So that's very loud. It's quiet for you and me, but in the meeting that might be okay. So that's the thing you want to make sure is good for the audience. And that is it. And if you've got any questions, just send us a message. If you're not within the Capital Communicators, you can find us on Facebook. If you are in Capital Communicators and you're one of us, then just send me an email over EasySpeak, and that will be fine. Hope that's useful.